when you're influenced and your values or your beliefs are being influenced by someone else, you really feel kind of pressure to want to fit in. And it's really, really unfortunate because at young ages now, they have so much exposure to just high fashion and have no kind of idea how much costs are and how that really looks like, what that really looks like realistically.
I believe fashion, you know what I'm saying, it plays a big role in a lot of things, especially in this area. I mean, to have that drip on, so we like to say nowadays, that fashion just gives you a sense of greatness, feeling good, you know, being admired, being seen, being heard, you know. Fashion is a very loud statement.
I've been in the fashion industry. I like to say since I was like 5. I would cut up socks and make clothes for my Barbie dolls. And so ever since I was a kid, I've always just been enthralled with the fashion industry. And going through middle school, high school, I was always involved in fashion, mostly design in some aspect. Went to college for fashion design. And then from there, I transitioned more into styling. But it's been a part of my life since I was a kid.
My brand is called Renegade. Renegade by Private Society. So the name Renegade, like Renegade by definition means someone who's like defected from a certain belief or someone who acts in like unconventional ways. So as people, like how many times have we realized the way that we are being isn't the way to be? You know what I'm saying? So it's the people that pretty much like pull back the veil and realize, you know what I'm saying? If it feels right, that's how you're supposed to be.
There's a lot of pressure. There was pressure when I was growing up. It went from wearing the Jordans and all of those expensive labels. I remember Liz Claiborne and Gucci was the it bag of that time, but there's still the same challenges. And so now we have social media. So some of my students talk about just the comparison they feel when they look at social media and they see people like the Kardashians and even their children, right? So the Kardashian children are wearing Off-White and Burberry and all these things. It's influencing. That's really what pressure is.
Main purpose, I would say to like, know what I mean, bring a different avenue to like the fashion world and sneaker world in general. And like when it comes to like the resale game, I would say my target focus is to have something for everybody. You know what I mean, all around, like hit all corners. So we have something for somebody who can't afford a $500 shoe, something for somebody who can only afford a $150 shoe.
I've always kind of had that business mindset. Like, I always wanted to put my stuff out there and profit off it, but I'm just now getting into like the business side of things, like really understand how business works. But I'm inspired by everything though. Like I see inspiration in almost everything I see, like whether it be conversations, buildings, people, conversations with people, you know what I'm saying? Anything, everything.
It's really about our image and our self-control, self-image, our feeling valued or even validated, to be honest. A lot of people feel like labels help validate them. If I'm carrying this Louis Vuitton purse, like I see on the Housewives show, then that will give me validation. That will make me feel important, or their self-esteem feel better. And it's really unfortunate because we need to look at ourselves. We need to be confident in who we are and whose we are, and not what we have. But
Yes. The people I've seen that are most willing to be different and just dress in a more unconventional way are the people who were in like middle school and high school that were made fun of for their style. So they're the ones that were considered to be eclectic or are like artistic and just a little bit offbeat. Their style was never bad, it just was not normal. It wasn't the norm. And so those are the people now that you see being more vocal about their experiences growing up and being bold enough and courageous enough to say, you know what, I'm going to wear this because this is how I express myself. And it has turned it into something that's honestly cooler than following what you see on the runway. So those are the people that you see like really like pushing that whole idea forward.
It definitely would open up a certain door depending on what you got on. Because think about it, like most people who's a sneakerhead, when they walk up to somebody, the first thing I make sneaker contact before I make eye contact. Feel me? And I never judge a book by its cover. So it's not like I would be like, oh, you got on some beat up shoes, whatever. But I might talk to you about, like, if I know I got some heat on and I see you looked at my feet, I might talk to you about, like, bring up the store or something. Because I'm the type of dude, I'll wear some beat up shoes, but still have some heat, some heat in the crib, feel me? So I would for sure say what you got on your feet definitely does make an impact on, who, like, what doors you walking into, Me, I like to keep a clean look at all times, personally, just because, like, you never know who you're going to meet.
I think shoes are very important to a person's overall appearance. I mean, it's like the mecca of the outfit, in my opinion. I mean, shoes is like rims on the car. You know? You got a nice fit, but it's like the shoes just makes everything pop. And me being avid and big on hat collecting, I believe shoes and hats go together. So if I got a fresh pair of shoes, I gotta get a fresh hat. You know? I mean, there was a time, man, you step on a person's shoes, man, guns getting pulled, man. Yeah. Man, people would kill over them shoes, man.
So being from the DMV, the styles that I usually like gravitate towards myself, like, the New Balance, the Helly Hansons. My aunt had to beg me not to bring my Helly Hansen hoodie in here. I wore that thing more than I should, most likely. But yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? Those are the really, like joggers were a thing for like a year and a half, like, you know what I'm saying? But like, yeah, I like slim cut jeans, like a hoodie or a nice t-shirt, a beanie, and some nice kicks. Like, that's just how I like to dress. I like to feel comfortable. Like people told me I overdress sometimes for certain situations, but it's like, if it don't look good, I'm not comfortable. You feel me?
yeah, that status thing. It's fashion, it's jewelry, it's cars. Again, I think that people want to have these things represent a certain status for them. It makes them feel that they've arrived if they have, the Gucci, the Valentino. Everyone, even rappers, are talking about red bottoms, and that's Louboutins, right? So those are shoes with a high price level. And I'll be honest, I've even worked at places like Neiman Marcus, and you would see clients come in, they can't necessarily afford it, so they're charging it. That goes back to Black consumers and how much we spend. We spend, according to McKinsey report, $835 billion. Billion dollars. But yet, what we earn does not equate to how much we spend, because we want to be like the Joneses, right? We want to have something that makes us feel like we have arrived. We have this status. I have this car. I have this outfit. But again, what's inside?
I think fashion takes effect on how you viewed on people, because no matter where you at in life, you always want to look like you're somewhere else. It's a sense of success. When you have certain things on. Not saying the clothes make a man, but the clothes can give a man an edge. You can have nothing. You can have no car, you can have no place. But if you come outside with the right stuff on, you'll look like you have those things. Kind of like faking it to make it. I don't advise you do that, but I'm just saying, if you have the right clothes on, you look successful, even when you're not. Fashion plays a big part in a lot of things.
I think peer pressure is being influenced. And as it relates to fashion, there's a lot of peer pressure, particularly from social media influencers. So you see these people, they show you, oh, here's my new outfit. I got it from this store. It's on sale. Or, they've got the latest bag. That social pressure then becomes, oh, I need to have this to fit in. That's a lot of pressure. And it starts at such an early age. It starts, I have someone, a child who's in elementary school. It's starting with her. She recognizes this car and this classmate has this. It really, really has gotten to a place because of social media that it's everywhere. It's mass consumption and it's all over the media in a way that wasn't necessarily the same when I was growing up.
So in school, like definitely, you had to have something. You had to have the polo shirts. Like my school was real strict on like wear uniform, but like I was one of the first few people that started like trying to, get around that the best way we could. You know what I'm saying? Like with the heel figure shirts, like the polo shirts, the little red logo. You had to kind of hide that when you see the little teachers coming and all that, you know what I'm saying? They were real strict about that. Like joggers, when joggers were really a thing, I was in high school, so like I would spend hours on the internet trying to find khaki joggers so I could try to wear them to school, like or kick Jordans. Jordans. Everybody got to wear Jordans. We're not got over it. Everyone loves Jordans. Yeah. Everybody loves Jordans. It's the status. You know what I'm saying? But like, yeah, I feel like clothes can be associated with status a lot of times.
It starts from from whenever you get exposed to the sneaker world. I would say that because I was a sneakerhead ever since I would say my mother could afford them. Like I could say that for sure. It definitely starts from when like your mother could afford. Well, your people, I should say, not just your mother, but like me, always been in the shoes. I couldn't have like the most expensive stuff when I was a kid and stuff because my parents didn't have that much bread. So it was like when I was a kid and I was in the shoes. I got in the shoe game probably when I was like 6, like when I started playing football and stuff. So around like 5, 6 years old when I started like knowing what was going on in the world for real. So like I was getting into the shoe game and I was into the stuff like you seen all the J's and stuff released, but I knew I couldn't afford them.
So when I think about name brands growing up in school and how it affected your association, I felt like it made a huge impact in your social groups. So I would see the people who were usually in groups together dressed similarly. So you had the people who could afford things like, I remember Abercrombie and Fitch was like a big deal. If you had an Abercrombie and Fitch polo, then you were like doing things in life. Or like if you could afford Forces, there was like Clear Forces, that was a thing for a while. And so all of these people would associate themselves with one another. And they also seem to be the people who were in a higher financial status. So their parents maybe had more money and they just were able to do certain things that kids in the other groups weren't able to do.
Yeah, I feel like clothes can be associated with status a lot of times. Yeah, I had on some I don't even know what they are anymore. I had some busted Nike shoes like 10th grade, and I just wore them just consistently because that's just what I wore. I developed style around that time too, so I was just kind of wearing whatever I had until I really kind of started seeing what I liked. You know what I'm saying?
So if you ever saw someone who was in that group and they did not have the same kind of clothes, or maybe your polo had 2 guys on the horse, like, yeah, you were not hanging out with them because they would make sure that they roasted you to a crisp. So you were always in a different group depending on how you dress. Like we all were pretty similar in our style. So for me, I didn't have a lot of name brand stuff.
See, I used to fight, so like, excuse me. But yeah, so I was one of those kids. Like I was always like my collective, more so private society. Like I named it that because I feel like the things behind the scenes are what really get things moving. You know what I'm saying? The things you don't see are what really make things happen.
In school, I was more to myself for sure, but like if my name was brought up, you would know about, you would be able to connect my name and face for sure. It'd be like as soon as you even tried to describe me or anything, everybody would know who I was, off rip. Not everybody, but most people.
I wasn't necessarily the most popular, but I wasn't all like the least popular either. I was just like somewhere in the middle where it's like easy to forget about me. I just like kind of coasted there. And so I would notice that there would just be different opportunities for the kids who had more.
I mean, I would definitely say I was more known for like personality and style. It's a mix, you know what I mean? Cause I'm a real genuine dude, you know what I mean? When you talk to me, you get in me. You're not getting to somebody that's somebody else. No, you get in me. When you talk to me, you're talking to me. So it's like, I feel like it's a lot of people out here that's not like that. I mean, so when you talking to this person like me, it's like, you're not really gonna forget meeting me. When you talk to me, you meet me for me. But then like you see I got a little fashion sense too. So it's like, oh, where are you into that too? So it's like, it just make the connection even better when most people meet me. So it's like, I would say it's a mix of both worlds when it comes to that, but mainly on the personality side, for sure. Cause I never really wanted to keep somebody around me who was around me for my fashion sense at least. You get what I'm saying? Cause then I feel like you only around me cause you think I got money. You get what I'm saying?
The people that raised me like drilled that into my head, like be presentable. So it's just like in the background at all times, like be presentable. So yeah, I definitely. But that's just how I just kind of had to realize like that's just how people are. Like they look at you, they're looking at what you're wearing, they're looking at what you put on, they're looking at how your hair is. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully we kind of had to have on.
So one of the things that always bothered me, especially in high school, is that I knew that the people who were going to get positions like president, people who are going to get the positions like prom king, prom queen, homecoming king and queen, those are the kids that were usually in that group that had the most money. Like they had the money, they had the name brand things, they just look like people that you aspired to be like. So they were the ones that were getting those types of opportunities. They were the ones that were most recognized. And even like some teachers would play favorites, you know, like they would just like they would get away with certain things. Whereas people who didn't have it, you barely even knew them. If they were a part of a group or if they were a part of some program, they was usually the ones that were a little less known or more obscure. Groups like, I don't know, like we had one for Rubik's Cubes. Like, you know, Rubik's Cubes people, you can imagine. Yes, they got together and did Rubik's Cubes. It was a whole club.
Oh my goodness.
Or like people who did, like if you loved Harry Potter, you would have like a little Harry Potter fan club, and those would be different people than the people who were getting prom king or queen. Yeah, so you just you had different associations, and you achieved certain things depending on how you looked, so.
I would for sure say people come around more, or they tend to stick around with somebody more, depending on like what financial status they're at. Or like whatever status you at, that's what people tend to lead towards more. And I feel like that's with the world nowadays, that's like it's a big like, nah, you shouldn't. I feel like, cause you should, when you meet somebody, talking to somebody, you should talk genuinely for their personality, for who they are, not for what they got on. Cause you could talk to me today, I'll be Fendi down. Tomorrow I might be Fila's down. You get what I'm saying? You're not gonna talk to me the next day cause I'm wearing Fila's and a Hanes white tee.
Okay, I found my group of people that, you know what I'm saying, I mess with, and we was rocking. Like I was more known than I realized because like I didn't realize like I'm just more inclined to do certain things that just people aren't willing to do, like fight or just, you know what I'm saying, or just be comfortable in what I'm wearing, or, you know what I'm saying, some of the things I would say, like I was just a genuine person. So I wasn't bullied. Not that I would let that happen, but you know what I'm saying? I wasn't bullied though. No one tried to. When somebody wants to play with me by not knowing how much my outfit is and they try to like kind of like flex on me a little bit, I'll simply calmly laugh at them. I do a calm laugh, like a calm little giggle, like, like, bro, you just don't know. That's not my fault. I think it's worse. I know what you got on. It's better that you don't know what I got on. You get what I'm saying? Like, you looked at my shoes. You didn't know they cost that much. I knew that though. That's the point. Like with me, I like wearing stuff. You probably won't know the cost of it, but I know like. Cost crazy. Cause I don't really care if you know my shoes cost that much. I don't really care if you know my shirt costs that much.
Yeah, I think a lot of people succumb to peer pressure as it relates to fashion, Again, because they want to fit in, it makes them feel better about themselves. If you walk into a room and you're wearing some high-end, Balenciaga or, something that's known, you might get more people talking to you. You might feel a little bit more comfortable versus walking in with something from Target. And I gotta tell you, I love Target. I got my outfit from Target. I love it. And to me, I'm comfortable in my own skin, so I can wear something high end or low end and not think twice about it. But a lot of people really succumb to that pressure because they want to fit in.
Do I believe being properly dressed gives you an edge on situations? I do believe that. I do believe, if you dress nice, you smell nice, you look nice, you let that off to the world. You project that out there. You walk into a room, people looking at you, oh, I like his shoes, I like his shirt, I like his jewels, I like whatever he got. So I do believe fashion can make you socially more acceptable. Yeah. I mean, do I believe if somebody's appearance ain't matching the rest of the crowd's appearance, he will be shunned, he will be isolated. But that's not me. But that is what happens, Because, I came a long way. Like, I didn't have a lot of stuff growing up. If somebody was trying to, let's say, rag Joan, how we used to call it, shooting the whatever you want to call it. I mean, if people was attacking my fit, 9 times out of 10, they was jealous of my fit, unless I was a bum, and I've never been a bum. So if people's talking about what I got on, they must want to be in what I got on, and I've always been that.
Interesting that you say how fashion has affected the urban community. I actually think the urban community has affected the fashion community. I think that based on the shows, Louis Vuitton, Fendi, Gucci, there is such a history of them seeing our urban looks, street fashions. In fact, if you go to any fashion show during New York Runway Fashion Week or in Paris, they often take pictures of those outside of the show. That's where they get their inspiration from. It's the street looks. There's photographers whose entire lives have been built around taking photos outside of the fashion shows. And so that's what you see in the following season runway, because think about it. Fashion goes in cycles and they need inspiration. They see it all around them. We started those things. We started the gold chains. We started wearing tracksuits and trainer sneakers, all of those kind of things. Now you see it on the runways and they sell it for thousands of dollars. But it started in our urban cities and communities.
But no, definitely styles like these young Black artists just posting their stuff on Instagram, because a lot of people don't know about like patenting and like just making sure no one can steal your stuff. So they just put stuff out there trying to get views, trying to be seen, and they're like, people are seeing them, but like they literally have like scouts that go online and look for underground like brands and stuff for ideas. You know what I'm saying? And twist it their own ways. Like that's facts.
How reselling works, it works like you kind of, when the shoe comes out in the stores, they have a general release date, and when the shoe comes out in the stores, you have people like me who will run around, go grab all those shoes. If the shoe does go to market and they see the numbers going up, then they'll go grab all those shoes from the stores for retail price, and then on that aftermarket price, they'll resell it for that aftermarket value, making that profit range.
Or kick Jordans, Jordans, everybody got to wear Jordans. We're not got over it, everyone loves Jordans.
And the way that kind of works is like different stores have different markets. Each store you walk into, resale shop, has their own market. Our market is community friendly. We ain't trying to head crack nobody.
There are opportunities on both sides. So if you're going to do it independently, you have the ability to charge how you want to and how you feel is compensates you fairly.
I feel like the driving force in fashion is really like the driving force behind whoever created it, like whatever inspires them. Like in certain settings, like no one knows what Gucci inspired Gucci to put snakes on the purses. You know what I'm saying? Like no one was flavors a DC brand. No one knows what made him pick that as, you know what I'm saying. It's really their own inspiration and their mission statement and everything. You find those things out by, you know what I'm saying, the more you deal with the brand. So the impact I want my clothes to have, if should they become a household name, I feel like it's kind of out of my control. You kind of got to let people do what they will with the clothes. I feel like that's why it grows, because the fan base kind of develops and gains their own ideals, like based on what the company is branded as. You know what I'm saying? So whatever they align with the most as far as what my brand is, then they'll do their own thing according to that. To be honest, but I don't want that. I don't want anybody to be saying cut up because they don't got no renegade on. You know what I'm saying? But that's just a part of the community. It's just what happens. But I would honestly, I would bring a tear to my eye. Like, well, you ain't got no renegade on, and just like, you know what I'm saying? I would love that. But not, I would love it because it's like my brand has got to that point. But it's like, yeah, I feel bad for him. I would give him a hat or something if I had something on.
Cause that's not who they are for me. What they got on, don't make them. That's what I always acknowledge. I mean, for myself, for example, if I got on $130 shirt, that's not who I am. That's not making me. Feel me? So it's like my shoes, $500. That don't make me. So it's like I tend to judge people genuinely by who they are. Yeah. Like me, I'm the type of dude I'll dress like how I'm dressed today. Crazy feet. That's how I kind of let my shoes do the talking. Most of the time, I let my shoes talk more than my outfit. Cause I walk out the crib in a full Forever 21 outfit, but my shoes be crazy. Cause I mean, shoot, we talking about expensive. If I walked out the crib in a full $1,000 outfit, people gonna look at me different than walking out of the crib in a full Forever 21 outfit.
So having some of those high-end or designers go to big box stores like Target it's been amazing. So I know Anna Sui, Philip Lim, they've all been at Target. I know this because I've purchased lots. And I think it's been great because now they can get to the masses. It's been a very smart move on Target's part as well as on the designer's part, because not everyone, think about it, someone in Madison, Wisconsin, there may not be a Neiman Marcus or a high-end store for them to be able to purchase an Anna Sui. So for them to have the access to their local Target to get to the same thing someone in New York or LA or Miami could get access to, it's genius. And I think it's definitely elevated Target and separated from, the JCPenney's or the Walmarts of the world, because they've really got a great merchandise mix and have really developed some great relationships with designers to offer the same thing. And they've offered a lot of Black designers, which is awesome. Christopher John Rogers was another one who was featured in Target. And again, it allows people to have access to something they may not necessarily have and or may not be able to afford.
I mean, you can hop out in a Prada suit and I can be out here like this, but it's swag, not just fashion. You know what I'm saying? You have to have it in you before you put it on you. I mean, nah, man, you can fool a green dude. You can fool somebody who, not with it, not knowing. Now you can't, an article of clothing don't make you nothing but fly, fresh, looked at, admired for a split second. But, I can put on a beat and some fresh shoes and pull off that flyness. That, a wife beater, some dopes or whatever, and go a long way. You don't need Prada, Fendi this, Fendi that to actually be out here fly. I mean, fashion has always been big, man. Trendsetters, from the millennials to the Gen X, to all these other genres of stuff, fashion is always gonna be here. It's a staple in our community, We gotta dress to impress, man. And I'm gonna keep on doing that. We're gonna keep on doing that.